too before we get started too.
Oh, I just went live, Brandon. That's okay. We can still.
Whenever Chris get back on here. Did you tag everybody?
Yep.
Okay. We'll do it after the show, Rob.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, everybody should be tagged. We are on. We are live.
All right, let me.
So check your notifications.
Yep.
So one quick thing, I know our time we need to jump on our team training.
There we go.
I'm sure it'll get short, please.
No, go check them and see, man. I'm Brandon. Go this one where we do it tomorrow. All right, let me get started. Get going here.
All right, we're on.
All right. Okay.
Everybody check their notifications and put it up on your page.
We all good?
Oh, good. Yeah. We're good.
Right. Awesome. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining the show. Man Up Serious, real people, real talk, real issues. We back from a brief hiatus. You know, we all had to do some life adjustments. You know, we had to get our kids situated. You know, we had to get back in the normal routine. So now we're back in the normal routine and we're bringing the show back to you, okay?
Hey, we manned up. We manned up.
Yeah, we definitely gotta man up. Gotta man up. That's a must. So we got a guest on the show. All right. We got Terry Alls on with us. This is going to be a good show. I think a lot of entrepreneurs that's kind of on the fence on whether to decide whether they want to do it. I think this is going to be a good show for you. Okay. Terry, give us your journey on how you became an entrepreneur.
First, I could just thank God just for getting me through this journey. It was something that was in the works probably 2 years ago. And then when I lost my job in June, the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, you know, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it was really God taking me through that journey saying, okay, I'm pushing you out of the nest. Now it's time to do what you said you always wanted to do. You know, if I've always wanted to own a restaurant and have my own business and stuff like that. So during the downtime of the pandemic, I started a podcast, featured with, co-hosted with Black Grounder Entertainment. And we've got 16, 17 episodes out. We've done some youth coaches. I just did Jay Warren out of Utah, who just released his new album. So we're getting a lot of athletes and sports figures and entertainers to do the show. And so that's kind of skyrocketed us into, you know, 2 years ago, Legacy Partner was just a baby. And now, you know, between myself and my wife, Ed Hughes, who does all our supply chain stuff, Rhonda Sewell does marketing, John Jones, who does a lot of community stuff. We decided to start this company called Legacy Partners of Northwest Ohio. It's a minority-owned business. We do everything from supply chain to culture training. We have what we call the 3 C's, which is collaboration, culture, and climate. If you can bring the worker bees to the high C's, and if that can translate into 3% of your bottom line, would you be willing to talk to us? And it's about retraining all these companies and businesses to look at the aspects of everything from diversity to making sure that you're really connecting with the people that really work for you. And if you can connect with those people and they can connect with you, it's from the time you wanted that job to if you were unsure in year 3, year 4, now you're in year 7, year 8, you want to leave. If you have to train another person to do that, it's going to cost you money. If you can keep that person and retain that person from the longevity, I think you've got the best for winning formula.
Awesome. You know, pandemic affected everything, okay? It all affected all of us.
It really did.
Yeah. And it came like quick, you know what I mean? And I know a lot of people can relate to it. If you do relate to it, please comment so we can go back and forth and talk about it because it literally shifted everything, all right? It shifted schools. It shifted our family life. It shifted our values as being employees,
Yeah.
You know, to the point to where like our bosses, you know, think of us like we're very, you know, expendable. We can be released at any given moment just because they want to cut a budget, all right? So let's start there, man. Let's talk about how pandemic the pandemic actually affected each one of us. I'm gonna start with you, Terry.
From everything from really just being in the house with your kids, protecting your kids, and being with your family, it kind of made those, you were in close proximity, so you had to talk, you had to do things that normally like the busy life forced us away from. Now we were sitting at the dinner table, we were eating together, we were talking about, we're having real conversation, and it was nice to be able to do that, not on once a week or every other week, but we were doing it every night because you couldn't go out. It forced us from a religious standpoint to really kind of rely on God and trust God in everything that He does. It's amazing how the pandemic has opened so many doors during this thing. I think I'm busier now than I have been when I was working, a 40-hour week job. I'm blessed to say that I'm on Lord's basketball coaching staff. I just got signed up with Williams Advancement Agency. So it's just so many things that God, so many doors that God is opening for me and my family. And just, I'm blessed. And I tell my wife this all the time, we are blessed to be a blessing. So something good is going to come out of it. And something good has come out of it. So.
Definitely. What about you, Rob? How did the pandemic affect basically your whole life?
Yeah. It's been an actual blessing. I mean, I travel a lot as a leader, and my job has really slowed me down. I was on the road a lot. As Chris says all the time, you rubbing elbows with death. Every day if you get on that highway.
Yeah.
So I would even try to turn times when I would have to go on these business trips. I'll try to turn them into one-day trips because I wanted to get back home.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm tired, fatigued, and just, so the pandemic actually stopped all that.
Yeah.
Now, as Terry said, you're at home now with your family.
Yeah.
I got to spend a lot more time with my daughter, who always, wants to see me all the time, but I wasn't able to see her because I'm at the office or I'm on the road. And it just really allowed me to really get back to the basics.
Yeah.
I think it did that for a lot of people,
Yeah. I would agree.
The basics, man. And it allowed me to concentrate on some other things as far as like business opportunities that I'm looking at, that I'm in now. It also allowed me to really kind of hone in on some of my passions and set some things in place because, as you said, Brandon, you really realize at this point, you are expendable. You look back and you see some things happening at people's organizations, even in your own organization. People are gone like that.
That was a tough lesson
What's that?
Yeah, that was a tough lesson that I learned, that I was expendable, and to me, that was a gut punch right there.
Oh man! So you start to put things in place that kind of prepare you just in case that happens to you, or you kind of see it coming, then you want to put some things in place. I think this pandemic really did that for me.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Clarence?
I would say during the pandemic, it just slowed everything down. Working in the school system, how we always say, man, I wish we didn't have to come in all the time, and then we finally got it. So it was crazy, man, because we finally got what we wanted, and so everything personally slowed down, and I was in the house more than I usually ever be in the house, and then it allowed me to kind of focus on my walk with God. I had to do a lot of meditating. There are some, things that, I deal with that was starting to manifest. And I'm like, hold up. Like, yo, I can't even sit still long enough to think. So, then we wasn't spending that much money. Financially, we was not spending money. I think we had more money than we ever had during the pandemic, and even coming out of the pandemic, and shifting, going back to work. So and then the business, being able to actually see what's possible. Because I think about this all the time. Every time I go to work, I'm like, man, they don't really care about me. I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like during the pandemic, like we said, opportunities presented itself. We got to see what was possible within the business that we do. I still got to help people, change people's lives during the pandemic. And I had some rough patches too, but it taught me the lesson of the valuable things in life, which is family, which is so key. So yes, sir.
Definitely. What about you, Chris?
Man, listen, it's I posted something on Facebook, I think 2 days ago. I said, this is the time to reinvent yourselves. And Terry, really, as we speak to what's really, really affecting our society right now is the diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And as I said, I did that space in higher education for 13 years at Bowling Green State University, at the University of Michigan. And when I say reinvent yourselves, for me, it was easy because, as I always say to you guys, diversity, equity, and inclusion has bridged every sector: nonprofit, for-profit, government, business, higher education. Right now, it's such a need, and so reinventing myself, being, if you look at my LinkedIn, I put diversity and inclusion practitioner. Then I turn around and said, no, diversity and inclusion consultant. And so what you guys are doing, Terry, I'm working with a company called Zomo Health, and its headquarters in Houston, and they have several clients that really need to get into the space of diversity, equity, inclusion, and not just talking about it with lip service, but really putting pen to paper, writing policies and procedures that really can move the needle forward in that space. From a diversity slate to diversity inclusion action plans, to really strategizing how to really be creative, dynamic, and impactful. The three words I always use is innovative, dynamic, and daring. And so, this is the time to reinvent ourselves, not to feel sorry for yourself. Yeah, I have been laid off like you, Terry. I was laid off for 6 months, didn't receive one penny of unemployment, not one.
Wow.
I said, I'm not gonna sit here and die. I'm not gonna roll up and die. Just me and my wife just built the first home. This is not the time to roll up and die, but to reinvent ourselves. And so, man, I put that out there on LinkedIn, and I've been getting the past 3 weeks, I've had an interview every week. And the unique thing about it is that I don't have to work for somebody. I can work for myself.
Man.
And so I have people that are working on a website and everything. So it's just time to reinvent ourselves. I'm not feeling sorry for myself.
I agree.
It's pushing us to a place of I can't be comfortable anymore with where I was. And I always say it like this, and I tell clients all the time, when my past and my future meet me in the present, I get excited. So I know where I've been, but I know where God's taking me.
Amen.
So,
go ahead.
I don't want to preach to y'all, because after this, I'm gonna be sitting around my collection plate. But we really, really need to get to a place of, I know where I've been, but I know where God's taking me. And so I can't be caught up anymore into, oh, woe is me, and oh man, I'm on the chopping block, and oh man, I don't know if people really value my skill set, my experience anymore. Man, the doggone with that, you can have a PhD and get cut. I got a friend right now, I ain't gonna say no names, but he has his PhD and he's a distinguished faculty and got released from a university job. So you can write books, you can publish books, you can be creative, you can make the company millions of dollars. I think about the University of Michigan. Just one student I brought into the college engineer, just one in the entire lifespan of that kid from undergrad all the way to grad school. That's about $1 million right there. One student, one. And you mean I'm on the chopping block? Okay. Yeah. So what we do, we reinvent ourselves, man. We don't sit there and cry over that, man. It's like, man, you better what we say, man up.
Man up.
And let's assist each other on how to be more dynamic, daring, and innovative with our approach. We got to be innovative and creative, man, because what we always did is not working anymore.
Yeah.
Sir, that's it.
The game has changed. I mean, this pandemic has forced us to do stuff we never thought we could do or wanted to do but it's forced us, like you said, to reinvent ourselves and create a new us.
You know, and here it is, man. Too loud.
Hey Terry,
Yes,
quick
sir.
question. So you said earlier something this had been in the work for 2 years. Tell me about what kept you from stepping out 2 years ago.
Right.
I think because I was comfortable at the Fortune 500 company that I was currently at, and that was, you know, that was my 9 to 5, get up there, you know, go to work, and I thought, okay, I'll do this till I retire. But that burning desire to always be my own man, and you know, I can be bad by myself, but if somebody tells you you're bad and you're not worthy and stuff like that, it really kind of hit home at, you know, in June, and I knew I'd be at this point at some point. But this really going like, okay, now you got to man up. You got to get off the ground, pick yourself up, because the bills are still coming in. House notes still has to be paid, you know. And so, you know, when you have a wife and family and stuff like that, people that rely on you, you know, you gotta man up. I mean, what do you got to do? You can't roll over and like, woe is me. So I you know, I grew up in the project, so I know what it's like to go without. And so at that early age, at 13, 14, I'm like, okay, I don't want to live in a project my whole life. I don't want to do that my whole life. I want to be something better. And I always wanted my kids and my family to have better than I had. So
Nice.
Hey Terry, I agree with you on that too. I agree with you at 100%, man, because I came from humble beginnings too, man. I didn't come up with, you know, a lot of things either, man. I knew that I had to work my tail off to get where I had to go. And like you said, we like a year ago, trust me, everybody was comfortable, right? We was all comfortable, okay? But like you had said too, life don't care about none of that. You know, life don't care about you losing your job. Life don't care about any deaths in your family. Life don't care about nothing, because life is still gonna go on regardless. Yes. And I think the pandemic now has got us at a point to where we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, period. Especially with being entrepreneurs. You know, that's just the way it is from here on out, you know.
Real talk.
Yeah, that's
just,
true.
You know, just working the regular 9 to 5, and you can be cut at any given moment, man. So it's about going outside your, you know, going outside of your comfort zone and actually doing something, man.
Yep,
so,
sure.
You hit on something right there, Brandon, because it was this, man. This pandemic has given us the ammunition to be where we want to be. 9 to 5 is not working anymore. Matter of fact, if anybody listening tonight, I will definitely give you the advice to go on LinkedIn, go on Indeed, and look for jobs in your skill set, but change it up. Instead of looking for a common job in this area, start doing remote. Everything is remote now. You can have a job here. I told Brandon and Clarence the other day, you can have a job in San Francisco here in Perrysburg.
Wow. We just talked about that.
They're here in Toledo. You can have a job out here in California, San Diego, here in your backyard. And so what I'm saying, even though the salary might be $200,000 out there in California, they might adjust a little bit, but at least your options are open. I had a past employer tell me one time, he said, man, you ain't worth what I'm paying you. You know what's funny about that? Everybody told me I should have took his job. Now, here's what's crazy about that. Every job that I'm looking at right now, they start way over the highest pay I've ever received. What am I saying, man? You can't let anybody to try to determine and dictate who you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
You might know me, but you can't define me.
Wow.
The issue is, Terry, and I don't mean to preach to y'all, but the issue is
You have to get your cash app out, Chris, in a minute.
You basing your assessment and your evaluation on something that happened way back at Mount Vernon in elementary. Yeah. Something happened back in high school. I'm in a whole new trajectory right now. And so what happens, we allow people to define us and tell us who we are when we're really king's kids. My dad always said we have the rights to call those things which be not as though they were. Life and death is in the power of your tongue, bro. Like at the end of the day, you're not going to define me. What you're going to do is give me definition. And I always say this, and I'm done for a minute. But I say this. Batman could have been nothing without the Joker. Superman could have been nothing without Lex Luthor.
Right.
Terry, man, you need your adversary around to push you to greatness, bro.
Listen. I tell my kids this all the time. Success has enemies. So I mean, trust me, I got them coming. But my goal is to always be. Persistence will always overcome resistance, and that's what I'm always doing.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
You gotta eat, man. And we giving out nuggets, man, tonight that and Brandon, I appreciate you and Rob, thinking about this platform or having this conversation wrapped around on this platform. And this is a great comeback party because everybody's trying to redefine, reinvent, reassess, reevaluate themselves. Like, hey, man, I'm better than this.
Yes, sir.
Right, Brandon, Rob, we better than this. Like,
Way better.
Clarence, man, Terry, man, no, I ain't gonna sit here and roll up and die. I worked too hard to build this house.
Yeah.
I'm better than this, man.
Yep. Agree.
I'm gonna sit here and cry myself to sleep, man. Listen, God has me above and not beneath. He has me ahead, not the tail. Listen,
Talking,
man.
sir.
I'm not playing with you today, man.
Come on.
Don't get me up. Hey, Clarence, man, don't gas me, man.
Okay. Get him a towel. Get him a towel.
Yeah, give him a towel.
All right. Give him a towel, man. Woo, calm down, man.
So Terry, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
You had your 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now you're in a position where you have your own business.
Mm-hmm.
You also mentioned that you're coaching at Lord's. So
right.
It appears that once that 9 to 5 was let go, you were even blessed with more things.
That
was in your heart, you know what I mean, and your passion.
It was coaching has always been my big time passion. So I've got to give Dennis Thompson a ton of props and Lord for taking a chance on me, giving me the opportunity. And I've always wanted to coach college basketball. And then like the podcast, really, we're doing some really neat things coming up. We're gonna do a series on Portland and what happened on my trip in Portland. Then we got a couple other things that are kind of heartfelt that are close to home that we're going to do on the podcast that I'm going to probably reach out to you guys for and say, hey, things are happening in our community that we as men, we have to take a stand on. We can't just put words to it. We have to put actions to it. So we're going to use our podcast as a springboard to kind of help be inclusive on that. But yeah, I mean, the business itself, I mean, I've got a meeting tomorrow with the big company. I had a meeting yesterday. I've got a potential client down in Tennessee. And that, we want to have these services that we can offer to different companies. But the key to it is that we are a minority company and we can help you help yourself. So
that's awesome.
Is that like a diversity select?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Rob. It was a real quick question. You say helping minority companies. I'm curious to know, Terry, is that the diversity is like a supplier diversity where you're helping young companies that are minorities, the Weebie?
No. So we are a minority company. So we want people to understand that we are a minority company, but we have these services that we can offer you. We can offer you supply chain help. I've got a 3-day seminar that I can do for cultural diversity and climate and collaboration and kind of just bringing everything together. Most of these companies, if you ask the CEO, can you name any of the people that work in your call center or something like that? They don't know. They can't tell you. But if you bring them together over a 3-day period and kind of bridge the gap, that's what we're trying to do. I think our way to approach this, how we've looked at it, is that the consulting part of what we do is going to springboard to a lot of things. We have a mentorship arm that we want to really kind of give back to the community. I'm big on a hospitality and service and stuff like that. I went to culinary school, so for me, I want to be able to springboard and help young minorities get into the hospitality business. You know, start your own restaurant. You know, do your own catering. You know, start your own. You know, everything right now is you know, gourmet foods and stuff like that. There's not enough us in those arenas. When you go to do and profile events throughout the city, there's not of us representing in these areas, and to me, that's sorely lacking.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely. So I mean, I think a lot of it's just really what I'm hearing is, and I think all of us want to be there. We want our time.
You do.
You have time to do. You have time to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And now it's like flourishing. Sounds like you trying to catch up with it.
Listen, I'm not turning down any blessings, but my wife mentioned to me, I was like, so you like having your time, and to think about it, I do, because like one client now, I work 20 hours a week. You know, another client, I'm working 12, and I pick those days that I do that, and then when I want my free time, I got my free time where I can, you know, my son's up in college, so I can, if I want to go see his game, if you know nothing's impacted, I got another son that's obviously at Central. If I want to see his game, you know, that 9 to 5 is not going to stop me from doing that. I've really kind of given myself back to my family, so to speak.
You know, Terry, you said something in the beginning. You were talking about your team that you have. You have John Jones, powerhouse, Rhonda School, powerhouse. I think, like you said, to take a leap of faith and step out. And you're also working with Coach Dennis Hobson, powerhouse. You know, this man is a legend in his own right. I mean, so you surround yourself with powerhouses before you made a leap of faith, but not even before you made a leap of faith. It really, what it did, it gave you more ammunition for the leap of faith. And so I know that John Jones is in the space of diversity and inclusion. I know Rhonda Zoo she's very, very good with marketing and getting the word out. And so you are surrounded by some heavy hitters that can really push you all into a place of greatness. How do you talk to our viewers about that? Like, how do you get them to identifying the right team? Like right now, tonight, we a team tonight. We're having a conversation tonight. But how do you identify that team that is going in your same direction?
So I've got this saying, and you guys have probably heard this saying as well. And I posted it on my Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. It says, lions don't care about the opinion of sheep. And so I want people that are on the same journey as me, that want the same goals. No, none of us cares who gets the credit. We care about succeeding together. And too many times there's too many crabs in the barrel. And, you know, I've got a long-time relationship with John Jones, long-time relationship with Ed School, or Ed Hughes, who's a good friend, Rhonda Sewell, and the wife, who's in the company as well. And we all want the same goal. We all want to succeed. We can't succeed if one of us is pulling another one down. And I've identified those people years ago when we started talking about this in Starbucks and coffee shops and stuff like that. We're like, okay, we should start our own company. And if you got people that have that same vision, you already know that. So anybody that's trying to jump on board, and we've gotten calls about people that want to come aboard, but you know, right now we're keeping our core group together because we want to build this first, and then we'll start taking on more partners and stuff like that. But you have to surround yourself with good. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I tell people, then we're in trouble. I want to make sure that I surround myself. I want to make sure I surround myself with talent. If you're like successful football teams or sports teams, they want to play with other good players. You know, it's okay being the man, but you're not going to succeed being the man. You know, you're going to succeed individually. You're not going to succeed collectively, and we all want to succeed collectively.
And you know, think about it from this standpoint. When have you ever heard or seen somebody doing better than you tear you down?
Yeah.
You don't see it. It's always the people doing less than you that want to tear you down. And that's why we always got to stay up top, man. We got to surround ourselves with people that's doing better than us. So that way we have something to look up to keep us motivated. And then to keep us inspired too.
And that's so true. You really, if you think about like some of the stuff that like all of us are thought provokers. So we all post stuff on social media and stuff like that. So when we do that, it's amazing. It's amazing that the people that support you that are come on in time. But it's also amazing that you see the people that don't. and it doesn't surprise me that people aren't applauding and stuff like that. I'm okay with that. I don't need your applause. I'm gonna succeed without it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that you say that brings me to that. I just saw a meme recently where a guy he's holding his phone and he put a message out about I just got a new job. He had like 200 likes and love and all that stuff, and then he had when he said I started a new business. He had like 7 likes.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, you know.
It's amazing.
Amazing. It's amazing.
That's a telltale right there for you, because if people are generally happy for you, no matter what, they're gonna. I try and give people, to me they're probably too much, but I like to support people that are supporting me, and it's amazing some of the stuff that if people are succeeding. Why can't we be happy with somebody else? That the spirit of jealousy, manipulation, and other stuff has got to go. This is a new age that we have to grow in. So
right, because what's for you is for you. And you're not
Yeah.
supposed to have. I'm not supposed to have what you have. You don't supposed to have what I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what's so crazy? I was listening to a Nas song, man, and he said hate is a form of confused admiration, man. It's hate is a form of confused admiration. People are so, I don't know if people are like, a lot of people are so scared to get outside of their comfort zone, and when they see people doing better, they want to tear them down. Why not join us? Why not let's do this together? Why not let's prosper together? Because I think when we're together and we got a group of men like this that actually are inspiring and want to do better and tell everybody about what they want to do better, it's like, why not join what we're doing, man? It don't make sense.
Because I think it's human nature to envy, and to me, like, okay, well, I mean, all of you gentlemen, successful gentlemen, I'm happy that y'all invited me to be on the show. So I want to be a part of Man Up. I mean, how come we can't grow together? And people with that envy, to me, it's not how I ever want to raise my kids or anybody around me. So I don't surround myself with those people. So I keep distance from those people, because if we're not on the same goals and we're not trying to move up, even if you move it up, why can't I support you and vice versa? If you want to cut me down, I can't be a part of that. I really can't.
Right. Yeah. And it's so funny you say that, Terry, because when I talked to you at the game that day and you told me that you started to, I was so happy. I was like genuinely like, man, that's awesome, bro. And that's where we should be at, especially as brothers, right? We should want each other to succeed, because that means it's something out there for me too. There's something out there for another person. We can all do it.
There's enough success to go around.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But if you have obviously it's more than a notion, it's more than just talk. You got to put pen to paper and start writing your ideas down. I'm currently working on an idea right now, and we have to be careful we don't allow distractions to demote us. And I'm guilty of that myself, that we get to a place that we are so, we have ideas, but we allow other things to demote us and steer us away from our aspirations and goals. And that's the thing that we have to do or change. I know me personally, I'm so guilty of that, man. I can start something, it can be great, and then all of a sudden, I'm getting pulled in 15 different directions. Like tonight, I know even tonight, like I have 2 sons that's kind of sick. One for sure is sick. The other one's back. But I said, I can't miss this call conversation because somebody needs to hear this conversation tonight, man. Good dialogue. I mean, because we need to really push ourselves, but get people that can hold us accountable to it. So, especially if you're passionate about something.
Yeah, for sure.
So, can I ask another question, Terry? I heard you share something that was new to me, that you went to culinary school.
Yes.
So what's your favorite dish that you make there?
So I'm a big Italian cuisine guy. I went to school at Merrill County Community College, and if y'all understand this, I was the only smoke in the house. So I like smoke. for me, it was like, you know, when my mom would go out and I was like 8 years old, there was food in the house. I didn't know how to cook. So I'm like, okay, I'm never going to go hungry again. And so I went to culinary school. I got the Escoffier scholarship, which is awarded to the top culinary student. And I graduated. I graduated from culinary school with honors. And I've got a couple guys that I went to school with. That I got one guy. He's actually on the set of NCIS Los Angeles.
Okay.
So and I got a couple guys that own their own restaurants. But I'm like, okay. I mean, I can go in the kitchen and cook whatever I want, whenever I want, because I can cook. And so, you know, I do a little dabbing here now and then for special events for people or stuff like that. But I need to drop some of these LBs because I'm probably eating too much during the pandemic.
So when you get that first restaurant, we want to be the first taste testers. Okay.
We are actually looking at something in the New Orleans cuisine style that we've looked at a couple of buildings in the downtown area. So we want to be one of the first 4-star Black-owned restaurants in the area. So
all right,
Awesome.
right.
Awesome. Now you're talking now on the restaurant now now let me ask you this, because I know that the menus have evolved over years. All right. Now you got your keto lovers. Now you have your gluten-free. Now you got your vegans. All right. How have you adjusted with the change on with the menu as far as we're trying to make sure all your customers are satisfied?
What you have to do, you have to have a little bit for everybody. I mean, some of the niche places are doing all gluten-free and stuff like that. I think it has its place. But here in Toledo, you have to. Toledo's a meat and potatoes, but we want to take the New Orleans style to a different level. Jazz brunches and stuff like that. Want to be able to do some unique stuff that you have that taste of New Orleans here in Toledo. So that's part of what we've been looking at from a building standpoint. There's a lot of good things going on downtown that are going to come evolve here in the next year or two. So we want to be a part of that.
That's awesome, man. And that's great to hear. You want your the place that you live to be a place that you talk about. Man, have you tried this? Have you tried this place? That you go and eat this? Man, they got this type of food. So that's awesome to hear, man. I would love to.
That's gonna be good.
A place like that.
We need all the positivity we can get in the city. So good food. It's gonna be that's gonna be
and we all of us we all go out to eat. We take our wives or our girlfriends out to eat and take our families out to eat. Why not patronize something that we own that is at that level that we're gonna pay $200 or $300? I mean, now you have your choice now. Now you're talking about diversity in that fine dining area. So we're trying to crack that level.
Yeah.
Right. Clarence, you see how you smiled when you said that, man? Good food.
Yeah, man, good food. Yes, sir.
I like that.
I will invite you guys over and y'all tell me what y'all want on the menu. So.
All right. I love that. Awesome.
Now let's talk about how the pandemic has changed our health. All right. Home now, we ain't able to go to the gyms. The gyms was closed for a while. And now, I know I'm like a skeptic to even go back to the gym, because you just don't know. You have no idea who has it. You don't know what machine, somebody in the bin, if they didn't got it or not. So I've been staying away from the gym. But health-wise, kind of tell us a little bit, each one of us, how have we adjusted health-wise as far as maintaining our health and kind of making sure we sticking to our diet?
Oh, where I go. Well, I would say with the pandemic, I like even right now. So even now, what I'm doing is I'm meal prepping. So I'm not going to meal prep 5 meals and expect to eat them all. So what I'm doing is instead of going out to eat for lunch, my wife, she helps me just kind of organize my plans through the week. So I got a meal set every day for lunch. And it's a game changer because now if I decide to go to the gym or decide to do some push-ups, I'm not wasting my time. Mm-hmm. So like my adjusting is I got to get my diet tight because if I don't, I'm gonna get sick. Mm-hmm. So it's like a conscious thing that I'm doing right now. And then I work with men, like a couple men, younger men, and we keep each other accountable, man. Like They don't go out to eat. They don't go grab food and just jump. We all like, hey, we gonna do this. We gonna drink more water this week, and then we just bouncing ideas like that. So it's cool to actually be able to do it and not talk about it, but actually do it. You know what I'm saying? It feels good, man. Like I'm starting to see my body change slowly, and I'm feeling better by just making that one adjustment, though.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
We used to meal prep because like my wife, she's from Jamaica, so she only makes like these certain Jamaican dishes that I like. So like, you know, she's real health conscious and stuff like that. So, you know, we're getting out walking. We got a walking machine here in our basement. We're right by the park, so we're actually doing more of that stuff. Tonight we did go out to eat. So, you know, I didn't feel like cooking tonight, so we did go out to eat. But yeah, it's really, I mean, we're drinking more. I mean, I drink so much water, my eyeballs are starting to float. And it's not something that I really enjoy doing, but you know, when you get to cleanse your body and stuff like that, it really makes you feel good, and you're taking your vitamins and stuff like that. So, you know, it's forced you, the pandemic has forced you to be healthier because it's survival at this point.
Yeah, I think, you know, the pandemic has really brought awareness just to different aspects of, you know, health and making sure that you got your body in shape. You know, you're putting the right things in your body. I mean, people were conscious of some things before, but now I think people are more aware and alert to it, just because, you know, they hear about what the coronavirus does to the body, and they want their immune systems together. And it's crazy. I don't know about everybody on here. Everywhere you go, you know, I went to Dick's. I went to some other places where, you know, they usually have you know, equipment, and it was gone. You know? So people are even doing their home gyms now. You know, a lot of people are not going back to the regular gyms. They're doing home gyms. And it's, you know, the pandemic has just, like you said, changed everything, man. You know, health wise, it's really, 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 really helped me see, you know, that you have to pay attention to your body and listen to it, because if you don't, man, it could catch you and catch you slipping. You know, I've known people close to me that have had the virus. Fortunately, they haven't passed away, but they've had it. And I think because they were in a healthy state, you know, because of the healthy choices that they made, I think they were better for it. Not saying that's the cure or anything. I'm just saying more so that it put them in a better position, I think.
You know, for me, I know for the first couple months of the pandemic, you couldn't find a bike anywhere. You couldn't find a bike at at home, not Home Depot, at Lowe's, but at Dick's, over there at Walmart. You couldn't find a bike anywhere. It was, everybody had a bike sold off the racks, and so I took myself all the way to Bowling Green to go grab some bikes for my whole family to get some fresh air, but to stay active. I can see things. My wife and I we used to call it pillow talk. You know, before you go to bed, you talk about some of your most detailed things, you know, bills and children. Man, we doing that on the bike now. I'm going all the way to Levis Commons. I'm going all the way, but we're doing it together, and we're laughing. Like, hey, I need a bigger seat. This ain't made for me, you know, you know what I mean? We laughing. But it's funny because we're getting a workout. We're actually sweating. We're talking. But then at the same time, we're getting fresh air. We're getting out the house. And so for me, biking has been really good for me and my boys and my wife. And then when we get to a certain destination, we'll go and grab we'll go grab a smoothie or something that's healthy as well. We put some probiotic in it and stuff like that. And so I've seen my weight come off of me in the pandemic. I've seen some weight come off of me, but it kind of, I'll be honest, the weight fluctuates.
For sure.
Same here.
Most definitely. Up and down.
I ain't gonna lie.
Up and down. You be like, what is this?
I've been down to 195 or even 189.
Mhm.
Then I go back up to 205, 210. I said, okay, that's way too much, and I'm back down again.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I gotta take off all my clothes. Take off all my clothes.
Take your socks off too.
You like,
Bro,
no,
Take the socks
like,
off.
Yeah,
don't
you
put
gotta
too
make
much weight on me.
hold on a second. Taking my ring off, we gonna get it in. Like we gonna make sure this thing in line.
You know that ring is extra pound, man.
Bro, maybe it's the beard, Rob. I don't know if the beard. I said that beard gotta be like 5 pounds. Like my wife said, really, the beard is 5. So we really want to get in there, man. But we go on bike rides. We have great conversation. We talk about major happenings, and we're not confined to the house.
Right.
And even when it's stressful, when you're on the bike and start looking at the birds, looking at nature, looking at God's creation, it helps you really hear more than you really want to hear what the other person's saying, and
Yep.
biking really work.
Yep.
It's powerful.
Terry, I got another question for you. So as you have transitioned from your corporate job to starting your business and establishing yourself as a college coach, because I know you coached before, but I'm saying establishing yourself as a college coach. How do you think that has affected your family? Just how has it changed things with your family, as far as having them more time and different things like that, and just, do you have a different feel to you, or what does it feel like?
I think at times they get sick of me because they're seeing me so much now. So, but no, I mean, honestly, I think it's improved the relationship between my wife, and my kids, and I get to have heart-to-heart conversations that I would have to put off for a week or something like that because I'm working so much that I don't get to see them. Texting is one thing, calling is one thing. Being able to see your sons on a daily basis because they have their own things that they do, and just kind of connecting with the family. It's brought us closer together. And, everybody is happy that we're going in this new direction. The kids are excited that I'm coaching college basketball, and so it's been like a rebirth and a renewal of our relationship, and it's really kind of fostered togetherness. I think more so than it ever has.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah,
time is such an important thing, man, because you can't never get time back, man. Never get time back.
Yeah,
so
you can't get it back.
Nope. So being an entrepreneur gives us that opportunity to take advantage of our time. So you're definitely right, because I know we're in business together and we do, things straight from our cell phone or whatever. And it's about gaining time, because there's a point in time I had to work overtime to get things, you know what I'm saying? I rewind about 5 years ago, we had another kid. We had my son Tristan, and we thought we were done beforehand. So we had Tristan, and it was like, okay, I got to work this amount of overtime so that way I can get all the stuff for him, And being that, when that happened, I literally was missing all my son's basketball games. I didn't see my son play for years. You know what I'm saying? And now being an entrepreneur, staying on my comfort zone, it's about taking advantage of my time. So yeah, time is of the essence, and we got to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You don't get those memories back because he's not gonna care what you bought him or with it. He may care at the time, but years down the road, he can like, Dad, I really wanted you at that game. I wanted you to support me. I would never forgive myself, because it's like, but I didn't know that then. I thought, we as men, we got to provide, we got to do the 9 to 5. Now it's made so much sense in the last 8 months now during the pandemic. Like, okay, the time with them is the most important thing right now.
Yeah, I'm learning that, man. Right now, I learn that daily, because me and my wife have conversations, and I'm like, yo, I gotta go get it, right? And she like, but you be trying to be gone too long. Like, what's going on? And like, you're gonna miss this and miss that. And I honestly struggle with it, because I was always told to make sure you have this amount of money in your pocket.
Yep.
So that plays over and over in my head. So every day I'm sitting here like, oh, I can make this and this if I do this. And then when I bring it to my wife, she said, negative, Captain. That's not gonna work because you got kids. Like you got a family, yo. And so it's a battle.
Man, something. My thing is that something has to give, and you know what I'm saying. And if you think about, man, time with my family or making more money, it's to me, it's a no brainer. And we've made less money in the last 8 months than we have, but we've made it work better than we ever have. So you know,
You know, my godfather is listening to my godfather, Bishop Robert Evans. He's listening to us from Longview, Texas. You know, it's amazing. He used to say to me, like, he always say this, like, God will sustain you and he will keep you. And especially, man, it always, the Bible says, if thy ways please the Lord, you can ask what you will. And I believe, like, even in this pandemic, I ain't got no job, I ain't got no unemployment. I'm gaining weight. I'm happy. I can see my kids. I can take them to school. I got people that want me. I got financial freedom now that I can actually start my own business and have the flexibility there. And so I don't mean to preach, man, tonight, but what Satan meant for evil, God can turn around and make for good.
Yeah.
And he can turn around and make a bad situation great. It's how you bounce back from it. How resilient are you? They said most of the best, most of your best, how can I say, creations and then happened when somebody was on their back, when somebody was at their lowest point. And so you know, people fail all the time. Well, how do you bounce back? How do you get back? And then when you get back, how do you give back? How do you get back to the next guy? Like Terry, if I see you in the street, man, I expect for you, man, to be your brother's keeper, and vice versa. When you see me in the street,
for sure.
Hey, Terry, man, that was a great conversation, man. Let's expound on that. Let's take it. Let's not just leave it here on tonight, but let's take it. Clarence, I want to talk to you a little bit. Hey, man, Rob, you were saying something, and Brandon, what was it that you were saying? Can we do something about that? And so don't leave it here, but really,
I agree.
Really a place of pushing each other, man.
Right.
Really. But we come this far, man, and we're still here for a reason, bro.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you're right about that, Chris, man. We you know, we in the position to where, you know, now it's time to give back. You know, it's time to give back because there are people doing worse than what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
man.
I know me and my wife been talking about that like a lot lately, you know, because, you know, we've been blessed with so much, you know, even during this pandemic, blessed. Now it's like, okay, now we have to start blessing others. We got to start giving back to others. I know we've been talking about trying to figure out different ways for maybe a Thanksgiving drive or Christmas, but no matter what, man, this year, that, man, no more. Yeah, we worked our tail off. Yeah, we'd have been blessed. Now it's time to bless others. So,
Amen.
But you know what, Brandon? Even what we doing tonight, it don't even have to be
definitely
money. This workshop, this is what this is, and what you're really doing right now. We're consulting. So you're giving out something that should be like filet mignon, but you're giving it out like it's ramen noodles. Like we're giving out some good stuff tonight, and like people they should be taking notes. Like, hey man, for those that don't know, like this is how you make broke look good, or this is how you rebound from broke, and this is how you know, this is I know we talking, we can laugh and we can say, oh, that's good, that's true, amen, that's cool. But man, listen, man, take some notes, people that's listening to this, and even if they don't hear it right now, down the road, they might hear it. Take notes and say, man, how do I get to a place? And even reach out to us. Like you see me all on Facebook, reach out to us, man. I counsel people, man, for almost like bare bone free, man, because that's my way of giving back. Like I think we should give, man, and love on people, like, you know, and I appreciate that, man, though, Brandon, when you're giving out gifts and you're giving out nuggets. I mean, I'd rather give out, my dad always said, man, teach a person how to fish or give them fish or teach them how to fish. I'm trying to teach them how to fish. Like, I ain't sitting here trying to just, okay, the next show is, and let's talk about that. And, oh, man, y'all should really be getting this in. Because you got 5 brothers on here tonight. Everybody got a different story, but everybody making it in a pandemic.
Amen.
So how are we doing it?
During the pandemic. Yeah, amen to that.
Hey, look, some of us doing better now in the pandemic. We doing now better in the storm than we did when we was over on the other side.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's it, man.
Blessing, bro, man. Like we really,
Rise to ashes. Yep.
you hear what we really.
It's definitely that's good, Chris. That's good.
I mean,
Yeah,
come on, Rob. Like, listen, bro.
Push
It's a
us
blessing.
all out of our comfort zone.
Mhm.
It did. It really did.
Diamonds
Look
don't
at Rob,
diamonds.
he
You
got a
can't
broken
develop
heart.
a diamond without pressure, man. And I think
No,
this,
you can't. You
a lot of these
can't.
systems have put
Exactly
pressure.
right, Rob.
A lot of this has put pressure on all of us to think
Mhm.
differently, to do differently, to be creative. As you say, you know, it's really allowed us to start seeing the value of us and
yeah,
not creating value for others all the time. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
I mean,
And the biggest thing for me with the man up, that's why we want to bring brothers on here like Terry. You know what I'm saying? We want to highlight the things that he's doing and everybody in our community and what's going on. That's why we want people to tune in, because we want to get out in the community and help where we can and
Have
not,
to.
we're not looking for nothing. But at the end of the day, if we can bring awareness to somebody that's
yeah,
trying
man.
to do better and help our community and help others believe in themselves to start their own businesses and step out on faith and not just depend on the 9 to 5. And there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5, but it's also great to have a plan for yourself,
Mhm.
to be able to create for yourself. So, you know, that's why, you know, Terry is on here with us tonight, because we were just so excited about him transitioning from, you know, and people have done it before, but, you know, I wanted him to come and talk because he can explain it in a fashion that none of us on here can do it, right? And he's done it in the corporate side, and now he's going right into having a successful business. You hear him talking about, I got a call tomorrow, I got a call here, this company. It hasn't even been that long, has it, Terry?
No, we just opened up in August. So
Yeah.
I mean,
See, look at that.
We've been in business officially. You know, we got the business registered. We're getting our website done. Emails are set, and so we're a brand new business. But I mean, people understand the value that we bring to them. And then, you know, you got the Rhonda Sewells out there. You got you got John Jones. My wife Anika's got a large network that she has. And then I know a ton of people. So I'm just calling people like, just give us one client. Just suggest one person. And if 5 people do that or 10 people do that, now they're gonna referral. And it's just you know, it's continuing to grow. And I'll be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Ty Boyd and his wife Boyd, who really they were instrumental in helping us get this business off the ground, get Legacy Partners off the ground. So it would not be here. Ty Boyd and his wife Tanya were very instrumental.
Good people, man. Good people. Good
helping
people.
us get here. So
Ty Boyd and his wife Tanya are good people, man. And it's
amazing.
funny, man.
Yeah.
Here we
We gotta get Ty on here.
Oh, you gotta get Ty for sure. You get Ty Boyd for sure. But here we are, man. We in the pandemic, we eating, man. We still eating, and we giving out. You know, I was telling my wife, like, I said, man, we in a pandemic. I didn't have a job, wasn't getting unemployment, but my son is going to a private school, and I still got a roof over my head. I'm eating better now than I did before. Why is that?
Won't he do it?
God will provide. He will.
Won't he do it?
Wait, hold on. Wait. Terry, here it is. You sitting up here right now. You getting opportunities thrown at you from every angle. You just got let go a couple months ago, or whatever. And then you go work for a college called Lord's, a university called Lord's.
Break it down.
It's a lot that goes into it, man. Like I appreciate everything we doing tonight, man. But to me, it goes back to something bigger to me, man. It's bigger, man. It's bigger than all of us, man. And even to have this platform tonight, man, and have this conversation, man. Get it in a good company, man. Stay around good people like Brandon, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Rob. Man, I've been. Me and Rob, we go back like Scooby and Shaggy. We like Snoopy and Charlie. You know, we go back, man. It's a connection. Terry, I've been knowing you for a long time. Clarence, I mean, staying connected, staying informed.
Well, Chris, I think, and all of us have hit it, you know, and somebody broke it down to me before. If we spend our whole life trying to hold on to something, we spend our whole life trying to hold on to something that's really not bringing all the value to us.
Yeah.
We can't receive. We can't receive. So sometimes we got to let them things go. And now we can receive if we open up.
Exactly.
Amen.
That's what's happening to Terry right now. You know, that's what's
Yeah.
happening to a lot of us.
Yep.
We
Amen.
let go of the norm. We let go of the norm.
Wow.
Bam. You know, now I can receive something. Now I can hold something, but I can't do it like this. You know.
Yep. You can't.
So that's what we got to just reconstruct a lot of our beliefs and the things we've known growing up. And I've heard Clarence say, you know, I was taught this. All of us were. We were taught this is how it's supposed to be. Job, go to school, get good grades, get married if you can, get a good job, and make good money and die.
Crazy.
So
Success
let's live, man.
Yeah, man, let's go. You know, I tell one of my dudes, I'm like, man, if I was to actually get in a place financially where I'm good, I want to send you on a trip that you ain't never been to. Now, sound crazy coming from our people because we used to get it and it's a wrap. I ain't giving nobody nothing, but I'm like, bro, if I get it, man, I'm gonna send you and your wife somewhere nice. He looked at me with tears in his eyes. I'm like, man, I'm serious, bro. You know, because that's when I think about being in a better position, man, I think about what I can do for my family, not giving them everything, but little things that'll make you go, man, I thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? It's the little stuff that matters. So yeah, man, I always think like that.
Definitely.
Well, I know we up on 10. Go ahead, Brad.
I was just about to say that, man. We're approaching the hour right now, and first off, I want to thanks for viewers for chiming in. We got a lot of comments. Thanks for being on the show, watching the show. Hey, we truly appreciate it. All right, and then too, I want to thank you, Terry, for being on the show with us. Blessing the presence.
Thank you.
Yes, and like I said, man, you can't do nothing but get better after watching this show, and I think this was a good way to get it back going and having this conversation with everybody too. So this was a great show.
Terry, would you like to leave the people with anything you want to share with your website or anything you got?
I just tell people, like, I mean, you know, the it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up, and you know what, we just started a company. We're not there yet, but with surrounding yourself with good people, and understanding that, you know, if we succeed together, we're gonna succeed together. And you gotta, I think, if you can get good people around you, I got the same vision. But our vision is not only for us. Legacy Partners was started so we can hand this stuff to our children and our children. That's why we came up with the name Legacy Partners of Northwest Ohio. So we're gonna leave a legacy not only for my kids, but for our kids' all the way down. So I mean, if we can help anybody or mentor or assist with anything, please reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn. So yeah, please reach out. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm very honored to be in the presence of great men, and you know, I'm humbled, and I just want to say thank you guys so much.
Awesome. We always talk about that, right, Brandon? The legacy.
Always gotta leave a legacy. It's about starting it, man. We got to do it.
You have to. Yep.
We all got to get in that mindset, leaving that legacy.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Terry.
All right, Chris, you wanna end this on a prayer?
Yep. Yeah, man. Let's have some prayer, man.
Definitely.
All right, Father God, we thank you for this session, this conversation on tonight. Lord God, you've given so much. You've definitely highlighted some things in our lives, directions that we need to go in. We ask that those viewers that were tuning in on tonight, that they got some nuggets that they can write down, and they got some brothers they can lean on. Because even in all this, it seems like there's no answers during a storm, but we understand that God is there, and we know that He is a provider of all things. One thing He cannot do, He cannot and will not fail, and He will not and cannot lie. So because He cannot and will not fail, as believers, we stand on His word and His promises. that, Lord God, this is for us. This too shall not last. We count it all joy. Troubles don't last always. So yes, the pandemic is real, but the God that we believe in, he sits high and he looks low, and he gives life to those that seem like there's no answer and there's no, he gives hope to the hopeless. I found out he's a mother to the motherless. He's a father to the fatherless. He's a lawyer in the courtroom and he's a doctor in the sick room. We ask that, Lord God, on tonight, you continue to keep us, uplift us, love on us just a little longer. It is so, it is done. We declare, we decree. In Jesus' precious, holy, awesome, perfect, majestic, marvelous, in matchless name we pray. Amen.
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 Amen. I want to thank everybody for watching the show. Man Up, real people, real talk, real issues. Thanks for tuning in, people.
All right.
Y'all have a good night.
Williams, take care, guys.
Thank
Talk
you.
to you.
Thanks, Terry.
All right.